I used to believe that love, real love, was built on trust, respect, and sacrifice. I thought I found that once, in a girl who said all the right things, who made me feel like I was her forever. But behind her soft smile and sweet promises was a truth that shattered everything I believed in. This isn't just a story about cheating. This is a story about manipulation, betrayal, and the scars you don't see. If you've ever questioned your worth after being used, this story is for you. When we first got together, it felt like I had finally found peace in a world full of noise. She was beautiful in a way that wasn't just physical. It was how she spoke to me, soft, warm, intentional. Like I mattered. Like she saw through the layers I built to protect myself from past disappointments. She told me things that made my heart believe she was different, that she wasn't like the others, that she was past that phase of her life, the one filled with meaningless flings and temporary highs. She wanted something lasting now, something special. She talked about waiting until marriage, about building something sacred, and to me that sounded rare, beautiful, even noble. And so I respected her boundaries, thinking I was doing the right thing, that holding off on the physical would make our emotional bond even deeper. I convinced myself that this is what true love was supposed to be: sacrificial, patient, pure. We talked for hours every night about our dreams, our fears, our childhoods. She told me her favorite colors, her secret hobbies, the smell she loved in the fall. I shared my deepest insecurities, the ones I had never voiced before. She made me feel safe, seen, special. She would tell me how different I was from the other guys. "You're not like them," she'd say. "You're one of the good ones." And maybe that's where it started, the slow shaping of a fantasy. Not just hers, but mine too. I thought we were building something unbreakable, a love story that didn't need fireworks because it had foundation. We went on simple dates, cooked together, shared inside jokes no one else would get. I thought we were writing the first chapters of forever, but looking back now, I realized something heartbreaking. She wasn't in love with me. She was in love with the idea of what I could give her. The attention, the admiration, the emotional support, the stability. In her eyes, I was safe. I was the quiet place she could rest in while still chasing storms elsewhere. But I didn't know that yet. I still believed I was the center of her world. Back then, I didn't see the signs. I didn't question her when she shifted her tone ever so slightly. I didn't notice the pauses when I talked about our future. I missed the way her affection started to feel rehearsed. Love has a way of blinding you when you want to believe it's real, and I wanted to believe, desperately, so I poured everything into us, my time, my heart, my loyalty, and I thought if I just kept showing her how good love could be, she'd never need to look elsewhere. But, as I would soon learn, you can't save someone from themselves, and no matter how much love you give someone, it'll never be enough if they never valued it in the first place. At first, the changes were almost invisible. She still said she loved me, still held my hand, still kissed me goodnight with a softness that made it easy to believe everything was fine. But something deep down felt off. Not enough to cause a fight, not enough to scream, "Something's wrong!" Just enough to make my gut stir when I should have felt safe. The way she talked about our future used to be so certain. When we get married, she'd say with stars in her eyes, but then, one day, it became, "if we get married." Just one word, one syllable, but it echoed in my mind like a warning bell. I started noticing other things too. She was suddenly too tired to talk at night, too busy to call during her lunch breaks, too distracted during our dates. It was like someone had dimmed the light in her, and I couldn't figure out why. Then came the weekends where she needed family time. She'd be gone for hours, sometimes the whole day, and I respected that. I mean, who am I to question someone spending time with their loved ones? But even there, something didn't sit right. She started preemptively proving things I never asked for, sending me photos with her family, having her mom text me with updates. Almost like she was trying to hide something she was never accused of. And one time, that mask slipped. She was gone for nearly 4 hours, supposedly with her family. Her mom sent a photo just like usual, but something felt staged, like it had been done too perfectly, too deliberately. So I asked her mom casually, "How long did she stay over today?" And her mom replied, calm, casual, "Oh, she just dropped by for 5 minutes, took a picture, and left." That sentence sank in my chest like concrete. 5 minutes. 4 hours. A lie wrapped in a smile. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wasn't ready to destroy the illusion. I wasn't ready to admit that the person I loved might not just be confused or distant. She might be lying. But from that day on, I began seeing her differently, like looking in a mirror and noticing a shadow that shouldn't be there. There was a disconnect between who I thought she was and who she might actually be. And that contrast haunted me. Every text she sent, every smile she gave, every "I love you" felt a little less real, like I was standing on a stage with someone who had memorized her lines perfectly, but forgot the meaning behind them. I tried to rationalize, tried to believe. Maybe she just needed space. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe I was overthinking. But deep down, I knew. I knew something was unraveling. And soon, I'd see the whole thing fall apart. They say when you go looking for something, you better be ready to find it. I wasn't. I wasn't ready for the truth. Not the real one. Not the kind that burns through your chest and rewrites your reality in seconds. But life didn't care about what I was ready for. It happened on an ordinary evening. She had been at my place for a while, acted normal, pretended. Then she left in a rush, saying she had to meet up with her sister. She forgot to close her laptop, and there it was, Discord, open, active, notifications popping up like little sparks of electricity. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours, frozen. My heart was already racing, even before I clicked. I told myself I was just being paranoid. Then I would open it, find something harmless, and laugh at myself for being insecure. But I wasn't paranoid. I was right. The first message I read wasn't just flirtatious. It was explicit, graphic, intimate. A digital love letter to someone who wasn't me. And then another, and another. 2 different guys, strangers. She had been sexting them both, sending pictures, talking dirty, making plans. I scrolled. My hand was trembling. My mouth went dry. In one conversation, it was clear they had already met up. In person, while she was with me. While she was telling me I was the only one. But that wasn't even the worst part. The real dagger came when I found her messages with her best friend. Unlike the flirty lies she told those guys, this was truth. Unfiltered, honest, brutal. She told her best friend everything. How she never truly believed in waiting until marriage. That was just part of the image she wanted with me. She wanted to feel pure with me, while living out her darker desires behind my back. And then came the part that broke me. She said I was moderately attractive at best, that I was never her ideal, just a safe bet. Someone who would love her unconditionally, treat her like a queen, and give her the emotional devotion she craved. She called it the best of both worlds. She could be wild with men who didn't care about her, and be worshipped by someone who did. Me. I was her comfort, her wallet, her footrest, a fantasy she constructed to feel emotionally secure, while using me to prop up her double life. I stared at that screen, blinking through tears, breathing like I had just been punched in the gut. My world didn't just fall apart, it collapsed inward. And in that moment, I wasn't angry, I was numb. Because it's one thing to be cheated on, but it's another to realize you were never loved at all, just used. There's a unique kind of pain that doesn't make you scream. It doesn't make you angry, not right away. It just hollows you out. That's what happened after reading those messages. Not just the ones to those guys. Those were sickening enough. But the conversation with her best friend, that's what really destroyed me. Because that was the truth. No filters, no manipulation. Just her talking freely about how little I meant in the grand scheme of her desires. She said I was emotionally reliable, stable, supportive, a good guy to settle down with. But never once did she say she loved me. Not truly, not deeply, not the way I had loved her, with my whole heart, with sacrifice, with trust. She talked about me like I was a tool, something to keep around when life got hard, when her self-esteem needed boosting, when she wanted to feel adored, while chasing the validation of men she actually wanted. Men she described as hot, dominant, fun, guys who made her feel wild and sexy. Guys she said she didn't need to impress because they'd use her, and she liked that. But me, I was the one who had to earn her approval. I was the one who had to prove myself worthy. And her words, God, they still echo. He's not even that hot, but he worships me like I'm a goddess. I'll ride this out as long as I can. That line burned into my mind, not because it was cruel, but because it was calculated. She knew what she was doing. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't confusion. It was a strategy, a lifestyle, a fantasy she played out in real time, at my expense. She wanted a dual life, a man who would love her like a wife, and others who would treat her like nothing. And I was just the soft place she landed between storms. What haunts me isn't just the betrayal. It's the realization that she looked me in the eyes every day and chose to lie. She kissed me with lips that praised other men. She made plans for a future she never believed in. She wore the mask of love, and wore it well. The worst part, I believed her. I fought for her, defended her, bent myself in ways I never had for anyone. And still, to her, I was never enough. Not because I wasn't good, but because she never wanted good. She wanted control, and she had it, until I found the mask and tore it off. And to the wall. Wish I could say I moved on, that I healed, that I learned to trust again, that I found someone who showed me what love was supposed to feel like. But that would be a lie. The truth? Some nights I still lie awake wondering who I was before her, before the lies, before the manipulation, before I started questioning everything. I walk into conversations now with one foot already out the door. I analyze every word, every silence, every smile, like I'm decoding a puzzle I've already lost once. I no longer ask myself if someone loves me. I ask, what do they want from me? Are they here for me, or just what I can give? I know it's not fair, not to others, not to me. But betrayal like that doesn't just hurt once. It echoes. It teaches you that being good doesn't guarantee love. That giving your all doesn't mean someone won't still choose someone else. Someone louder, wilder, colder. She left me with more than a broken heart. She left me with questions I'm still afraid to answer. What if I'm not enough? What if I never was? What if every time someone says, "You're special," they really mean you're safe, you're useful, you're temporary? And what hurts the most? She probably doesn't think about it at all. Not the lies, not the pain, not the destruction she left behind. But I do. I carry it with me, in the way I hold back my emotions, in the way I downplay my needs, in the way I expect the people I love to eventually leave. That's what remains of me, a version of myself I never asked for, a quiet ache I didn't deserve, and a heart that still hopes, despite everything, that one day someone will choose me for the right reasons. Not because I'm useful, not because I'm safe, because I'm worth it. If you've ever given your heart to someone who only saw you as a backup plan, you're not alone. Sometimes, the people we love the most are the ones who leave the deepest wounds. But your worth isn't defined by how someone else treated you. It's in how you rise after the fall. Have you ever been in a relationship that made you question your value? Let me know in the comments. I read every story. And if this hit close to home, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that speak the truth, even when it hurts.